Good morning, everyone. And this video are going to talk about one of the most unique and famous masterpieces inside the Egyptian Museum of Cairo. We are going to talk about the first life-sized statue in the entire Egyptian civilization, the statue for the king, Djoser. So this statue is made out of painted limestone. The limestone was called in ancient Egypt inner hedge, and it was quarried from Tora, Ma'asara, and Muqattam hills. So these are the names for the quarries from which we bring the limestone. This statue dates back to the Old Kingdom, the Third Dynasty, the reign of King Djoser. It was discovered by the Antiquities Service excavations, at Saqqara, precisely on the northern side of his step pyramid in the funerary complex of King Djoser. So, who is King Djoser? First, we should identify his name. King Djoser, in fact, has two names, or he is famous for two names. The first name, Djoser, means the divine one. And this name was only started, or it was started to be called with starting by the Middle Kingdom. So Djoser, as a name for King Nethri-Ghit, was firstly appeared in the Middle Kingdom, precisely in the 12th dynasty, في الأسرة ال 12. He has another name, Nethri-Ghit, or Eri-Ghit Nether. Nethri-Ghit means divine of body, مقدس الجسد. Divine of body. And there's another pronunciation, Eri-Ghit Nether or Ni-Ghit Nether, which means the one who belongs to the divine body. So divine of body, or the one who belongs to the divine body. What about his family? Most probably that King Djoser, he was the son or the successor for the last king of the second dynasty, which he is King Khasi that we have talked about before in the Egyptian Museum when we had his royal statue. So his father is King Khasi. King Khasi married from a woman. Her name is Ni Ma'at Habi, or Ni Ma'at Hab, she who belongs to the justice of Habi. Most probably she comes from a Nubian tribe. So about his mother nationality, most probably she comes from a Nubian tribe, and she settled in Memphis in later times. واستقرت في منف يعني في وقت بعدين. The tutor of King Djoser, المربية, her name was Rimbet Nefret, the beautiful or the happy year. This tutor was the wife of an architect. His name is Khan Nefer. His name is Khan Nefer. And Khan Nefer, Rimbet Nefret, together they brought the famous architect that his name is Imhotep. Thus, the Imhotep, he would be like a half brother, because the tutor she takes care for takes care after King Djoser, and her son would of course spend his time with the king himself. يعني يا شباب إمحتب كانت مربية ومرضعة للملك زوسر. أبو إيه محتب اسمه قانفر. And by the way, it is very important to know that Conifer, he was the first architect to use stones in building structure. المهندس أبو إيه محتب اللي هو اسمه قانفر كان أول واحد بالفعل استخدم يعني الحجارة إن هو في المنشآت، بس كان طبعا مش بالشكل ده، هو كان يعني not wide as or not in spacious level or ways just as محتب did، مش نفس ما عمل محتب. تمام. Conifer created the burial chamber for King Khasi with stone أو in stone. بنى غرفة دفن الملك سخموي بالحجر. But however, the earliest one to elaborate the stones in ancient Egypt was King Djoser, one of the kings of the first dynasty. ولكن بالفعل يعني هو عمليا كده ان اول واحد بس استخدم الحجارة بحاجة بسيطة كان الملك جر، ده احد ملوك الاسرة الاولى. تمام. وعلى فكرة أول طقس الحاجة طقس اسمها شد الحبل، ودي أحد طقوس تأسيس المعبد، ظهرت في عهد الملك خاص خموي، ودي على كتف موجود من الحجر الجرانيت، موجود دلوقتي في المتحف المصري، ممثل عليه الملك خاص خموي واقف مع الإله سيشاط وهم بيدقوا الحبل، أو اللي هو يعني إيه بيشدوا الحبل بمعنى الأصح. So we now recognize the relation between King Djoser and the famous architect, his vizier, okay, Imhotep. As we said that the mother of Imhotep was the tutor for King Djoser himself. Imhotep is considered the first architect. He was divined and deified in later times as the Greek people connected him with their god Asclepius, the god of medicine, of course, and physician. So Imhotep, he created or he used the stone widely in building the funerary complex of King Djoser at Saqqara, and I think that you have paid a visit to that area. So it was like the funerary complex is considered the earliest stone structure on the entire land, not only in Egypt but in the world. The earliest structure, the stone structure or massive stone structure in the world. And this funerary complex is considered the main thing that King Djoser was famous for, as in which we found what is called the step pyramid. The step pyramid, as you notice, consisted of 6 mastabas, and approximately it reaches or it rose to a height of 60 meters and surrounded by surrounding wall. We have many unique things in this funerary complex. For instance, we can mention that inside which appeared for the first time what is called caveto corniche ornamentation. Caveto corniche ornamentation. And also the Taurus molding ornamentation, and this related to the architecture. So caveto corniche and the Taurus molding appeared for the first time. On the other hand, we can also see the recru ornamentation. Okay, the recru ornamentation appeared on the northern pavilion or on the northern house for the king. The funerary complex has the first structure dedicated only for the Hempstead festival, which we are going to talk about later. So now let's get back to our statue, and we should mention that it is considered the first life-size statue in ancient Egypt, the eldest one, okay? As we see here, King Djoser or Nethriget is seated, of courses made of painted limestone in the sitting position, seated or portrayed in what is called the archaic attitude. Okay? Now we are going to, as you see that with like a high back throne. You should focus on what we are going to say because it is important. For the first time, and also the last time as well, we see the representation for the nimis, which is the royal headdress, as you see. This is the nimis of the king, is worn up a heavy hair wig. Frequently, we don't see such a thing as the king used only to put the nimis on his, on his head directly, not only a wig. So this is a strange and unique thing you should know. This is for the first and last time. The style of the striated hair, a headdress nimis. The sharp end here, as you see this sharp end, the narrow ones are not usually represented like in the later types of nimis. So this was the first and last time to see this sharp or narrow end for the nimis. So this is second important thing you should know. The third thing is, for the first and last time, we see such extreme long fold beard. It is too long. You see, it reaches his painted hand on the chest. So, for the first time, we see the royal headdress, which is called the nimis, on a heavy wig. The style of the nimis itself with the narrow end here, it is for the first time and the last time as well. The extremely long folds beard here is the first time and the last time as well. And don't forget to watch this mustache. The mustache was like a hair, and I don't know, a style for the Egyptians. We inherited that from the ancient Egyptian as well. So the traces of the mustache, and this was the first representation for the mustache on the statues. So the king is wearing, as you see, the royal headdress with a very distinctive narrow or sharp end upon a heavy striated hair wig, and he is wearing long, extremely long false beard. From the nimis we see his two ears are exposed, and the king's facial features give us an indication or like a notion about his origin. Maybe he inherited the Nubian facial features. And you see, because of as well the dark color. This one of the opinions that supports or which consolidates the fact that his mother comes from a Nubian tribe. Unfortunately, you see that his two eyes are torn out. They were intentionally like extracted. كانوا عن قصد يعني يا شباب طلعوهم. And we have theories or hypotheses that interpret this idea. So, I'm sorry. Okay. We should ask ourselves where, like, basically they found this statue, as I told you, in on the northern side of the funerary complex, inside the funerary complex on the northern side of the step pyramid, inside what is called Serdab. Okay, so this is a Serdab. Serdab is like a room, closed room, in which the statue was placed originally here. And by the way, there's another statue, but that one is replica. Replica هي حاجة زي ايه؟ يعني مش أصلية، متقلدة، موجودة هناك في نفس المكان الأصلي. On the northern side of this Serdab, we can notice two peepholes. في زي فتحتين مدورتين كده موجودين في الناحية الشمالية، وعلى فكرة مظبوطين their level was appointed to allow the king to look at the stars from them. As in later times, بعدين بقى يا شباب بنلاقي في chapter 68 in chapter 68 of the book of the dead في spell بتقول opened for you, or I'm sorry, opened for me are the double doors of the sky. مفتوحة لي هم الأبواب المزدوجة الخاصة بالسماء. Open for me are the double doors of the earth. مفتوحة لي هم الأبواب المزدوجة الخاصة بالأرض. تمام؟ وبتنتهي السبيل او الجزء الموجود في chapter 68 ده بيقول ايه؟ exposed for me are the roof and the peepholes. والبيب هولز برضه يا شباب بتلاقي زيها في هرم الملك خوفو. يعني بيقول لك exposed for me are the roof and the peepholes. يعني exposed اللي هو واضحالي او بينالي او ظهرالي السقف والبيب هولز اللي منهم the king intentionally wanted to look at the northern stars. The northern stars were called in ancient Egypt Ikhomosik. Ikhomosik were a group, or was a group of stars. The Egyptians, as you know, they were very clever in astrology and astronomy as well. And they noticed a star that we call it imperishable star أو النجم الشعر اليمنية اللي هو السيريوس ده. تمام. And that star was like it was stable. It didn't move. يعني هو ما كانش بيتحرك، يعني ما اتحركش. And they thought, or they considered, that star is a place where the heaven is located. وداخل النجمة دي كانوا بيظنوا إن الجنة موجودة، اللي هي الإيارو، بعدين حقول الإيارو في الدولة الحديثة. طيب يعني أنا عرفت إن كان في عندي الفتحتين دول علشان الملك يبص منهم لبره. أو most probably an altar or offering table was placed before this serdab, and upon them offerings were presented to the ka of the statue, where it should be like get the benefits and the nourishment for the king. نرجع للتمثالنا. طيب احنا اتكلمنا دلوقتي على حاجة، هو كان مكانه فين؟ وكنا بنتكلم عن intentionally، تمام، intentionally او الأوبليجات، يعني هو عن قصد، يعني touring for العينين بتاعته. We have the first hypothesis suggests that maybe some people wanted to prevent the king from looking at the northern stars. حب ان هم يمنعوا الملك من ان هو يشوف النجمة الشمالية، فروحه، انا اسف، فروحه كده ايه تقف، او يعني مش هتبعث. Another opinion assumes that maybe the eyes of the king were inlaid in semi-precious stone, and the robbers came and they tore out these eyes. وربما ان العينين كانت معموله من يعني احجار شبه نفيسه فخدوها. ده بالنسبه للايه للاكستراكشن او الفراغ الجاب اللي باين ان هنا ما فيش عينين. يبقى اول حاجه عشان يمنع الملك من البعث، او ان هو علشان كانوا معمولين من semi precious stones and they wanted to take them robbers الحراميه يعني. Of course, the nose is broken because maybe some people wanted to deface his face, and in the later scenes we see gods putting the anch signs toward the nostrils of the king، اللي كان منها بيتم إعطاء الحياة من خلال النوستريلز أو فتحات الأنف للملك. فلما they destroyed النوز هنا يا شباب. طبعا هو بيمنعه من التنفس، او ممكن ان يكون التمثال ده just fell apart ووقع واتكسر، لان المناخير هي جزء ضعيف جدا من التمثال وسهل ان هو يتكسر، يعني something fragile. طيب طبعا بنتكلم على الفيشل فيتشرز، ان هنا عنده thick you see fleshy lips upon which we can see the mustache painted in black, the high cheekbones, the big or wide exposed ears from the royal headdress. The king, as you see, is represented in the archaic form, which represent or portrays the king bending تمام like bending أو closing his right arm across his chest with grasping fist وبقبضة مقفولة أو قابضة تمام. And we see on the other hand his left arm is placed flat, opened with open palm on his thighs. اوكي فهنا ايديه عندنا هنا بنتد تمام او فولدد، وهنا عندنا ده اللي هو flat او resting his left arm flat on his thighs. عندنا هنا symbolism يا شباب. الجراسبينج للايد indicates the attitude or the posture for of grasping or closing his fist قافل القبضة بتاعته كده may indicate to his strength and rigidity, his hardness. He was a like hard ruler, okay, and the powerful ruler. What about the open palm? The open palm may indicate like he was a merciful king. كان ملك متسامح. So being merciful and rigid or hard or tough at the same time, one or some of the qualifications that make you a successful king. جمع ما بين القوة والحزم وبين التسامح والسلام. تمام؟ طبعا دي hypotheses كلها آراء. The body of the king, as you see, is covered entirely with white, tight أو close-fitting cloak أو mantle أو garment. تقدر تستخدم الثلاثة علشان توصفهم. تمام؟ الوايت كلوك ده لو انتوا تفتكروا كان خاسي خموي برضو لابسه، وده اسمه الهيبسيد مانتل أو الهيبسيد كلوك. تمام؟ ايه بقى ده؟ هحاول اقول لكم شويه معلومات عن الهيبسيد. هو the first of all you should recognize it is a jubilee festival in which the king he proves to his nation or to his people, of course the people of Egypt, that the king still enjoys agility, strength and power as well. In this festival or in this ceremony the king is doing many things. Okay. There's a famous event in this ceremony that the king holds the mixed sign and another type of sign that in Egyptian signs حب أو حاب whatever حب. okay شبه الترينجل كده يا شباب، شبه المثلث. and he's practicing what is called the ritual run طقسة الجارية. تمام؟ وده الملك كان بيجري فيه. كان في سيرموني تاني وهو fighting البول، كان بيحارب أو بيصارع الثور. وطبعا احنا عارفين ان البول ده كان symbol of power in ancient Egypt. King Narmer himself presented himself as a bull destroying or overthrowing a castle of his enemy. So the king used to fight a bull. Eventually, of course, the king wins and he overcomes on the bull, the sign of power. After that, the king goes in a big ceremony or big procession to visit the main gods' temples in Egypt to receive their blessings. The first king, the first documented king to celebrate the Hempstead festival is King Din. King Din, one of the kings of the first dynasty, he was the first recorded king to participate the Hempstead, even though we see inscriptions date back to the king Scorpion الملك العقرب تشير ان هو لربما احتفل بعيد السد برضه. العيد السد هو عيد 30 الملك من خلاله بيثبت قوته ورشاقته وبيهدف eventually to extend the king's reign for more 30 years. It should be held every 30 years. Although we have many kings or queens, Queen Hatshepsut herself celebrated the Hempstead in spite of she didn't rule 30 years. But they just wanted to, it was something, based on symbolism. And we see also in the funeral complex of King Djoser that King Djoser created what is called the Hempstead Court. عمل فناء علشان الحبسد مع ان هو احتفال للملوكيه في مصر على حاجه ملهاش علاقه بالجنائزيه بالموت الا ان he wanted to ensure his celebration the same festival to elongate his regency forever. هو ميت بقى فاضي فاهمين فهيفضل بقى يحتفل بالحبسد. طيب ده بالنسبه للحبسد. خلينا اقول لكم ان في الدوله القديمه ان الموست preserved scenes dating to the Old Kingdom are presented on the walls of the Sun Temple for King Ni-Wis-Ra. موجودة على حيطان أو حوائط معبد ني-وس-الرع. أكمل مناظر احتفال السد واللي من خلالها بنشوف الملك بقى وهو بيغير ملابسه في حاجة اسمها الإيست وبيزور حاجة اسمها العح نثر وفي الآخر بيروح طبعا بيجري وبيحارب الطور وبيروح يتبارك من التمبس او الشراينز بتاعه الالهه وفي الاخر بيروح يجبي الضرايب. دي كلها حاجات في تفاصيل كتيره جدا اكتر من المشهوره عن الحبسد. So the king here is seated and covered in the white cloak mantle. He's sitting, as you know before, on a plain high back throne. And there's something important you should know. Up on the pedestal, on the facade or on the frontal face, we see this line of horizontal inscription. It is read from the right to the left because you see that here the vulture here is looking to the right, the cobra is looking to the right, the bee looking to the right. So here we read Nisu Bit or Nisubeti, king of Upper and Lower Egypt. King of Upper and Lower Egypt. Nipti, he who belongs to the two ladies. طيب عايزين نفصص الكلام ده. طبعا نبات السو ده يا شباب ده كان رمز الملك الجنوب وهي مصر العليا، والنحلة هي رمز ملك الشمال زي نبات اللوتس ونبات البردي. دي كلها رمزيات. المعبودة الرئيسية في الجنوب كانت نغبت في الكاب، وطبعا والمعبودة الرئيسية في الشمال كانت واجت في بوتو. تمام. فدي نبت سيدة ودي نبت. فلما يقول لي نبتي اللي هو المنتمي للسيدتين او المنتمي تمام. فهنا بنلاقي نخبت واجت نبتي he who belongs to the two ladies. نثري غت نثري غت أو إري غت نثر ومعناها he who belongs to the divine body أو divine of body. دول الترانسليشن بتاعتهم. تمام. بلاقي بقى الاسم النبتي بتاعه هنا اهو. طبعا ده الاسم التتويج بتاعه إري غت نثر أو نثري غت، والاسم النبتي بتاعه اسمه ايه بقى هنا؟ رع قرص الشمس اهو نبو. تمام. رع نبو ده جولدن سان ديسك او الجولدن سن. وليه الجولد ارتبط associated with God رع؟ بنلاقي بعدين ان في المان كايند ديستراكشن ميثولوجي، ودي ان شاء الله اعتقد انتوا خدتوها في سنه تانية مع في ماده الليتريتشر الادب. بنلاقي ان في احد النصوص ان لما رع تقدم في العمر يقول لك حقوق انا اسف حوقف ام نبو قصوقف ام حجو شنوقف ام مع خزبج. جسده بقى ذهب، عظامه بقت فضة، وشعره بقى لابس لازلي اللي هو اللون الأزرق ده اللازورد يعني. تمام. علشان كده بلاقي بعدين هشوف ان الشعر بتاع الملوك بقى بيلون باللون الأزرق. ده كان بالنسبة لشرح تمثال الملك زوسر بالمتحف المصري. أتمنى برضو على زيادة عن شرحي إن انتوا تقرأوا أكتر وأكتر. تمام يا شباب، شكرا لكم.